Right, let's go to one of the games on Saturday, and let's go to Pittodrie, where Hearts took a first half lead through Lauren Shanklin, but ultimately lost the game 2-1. Joel's Skeds, numerous Joel Skeds. Goals from Bojan Majowski and a Leighton Clarkson injury time winner. So this was... I was literally going to say this was a game of two halves, and I stopped myself.
But I mean, we're very hungover, so I was struggling to formulate my sentences in the last one.
We should probably say why we're hungover, because it seems very unprofessional. But we'd scheduled this, and then a friend of ours has lost a couple of loved ones very recently. So a very good friend of ours. So we were basically right, we'll come out to meet you and get some pints, and then we're like, we're going to do it at the podcast. Let's just see if we can do it hungover. I'll stay at yours and we'll make an attempt at this the next night. So that's why we're both.
We don't normally do this.
No, I don't normally do this. And also, I said it's Monday's podcast. We record this on Sunday night.
Yeah. So we are getting there. But back to Hearts being shite.
Yes, yeah. So the first half, Aberdeen were terrible, and Hearts were definitely better team until the goal. I would even say for 10 minutes afterwards, just looked very comfortable. Aberdeen crowd was really getting on the back of the team because they were shite. Like, the passing was terrible. They were a lot of it was kind of just seemed quite aimless. A lot of really easy mistakes, and it kind of looked like this is the end for Robson. This, like, or I was actually wondering, like, do they just give him next week the cup final and then lose that, and then it's like, okay, thank you for your service, see you later, kind of thing. And then second half, completely different. Right from the start, Aberdeen were much better, and they got their goal. What have been, I didn't notice this myself, but what have been Tom mentioned to me that I was furious at Nieuwenhof and Beringame because they both stop when McGrath goes down. But Tom says you can actually see the ref about to point to the spot, so it does actually maybe make sense as to why the other two stop. And then once he sees McGrath getting back up again, so it's still shite.
Very, very good referee in there.
Yeah, still shite from the two Hearts players. You played to the whistle,
absolutely.
But it would have been a penalty regardless if they had stopped them. So it's maybe not in the grand scheme of things, the most egregious errors, unlike, I would say, Xander Clark for the winning goal.
Oh my. Why is it, like, the least you have to do is to close the angle, right? That's you can get out sharper, you could possibly get there, but you have to close the angle in a 1-on-1. Why are you running backwards? It doesn't make any sense on any level of why he's doing that. And it's like him playing it's good, I really like this. Him playing for Scotland's fucked his confidence, and it's fucked it for Hearts. It's great. It's absolutely great.
A friend of ours said before the game, like, why is Clark playing? The fact that Gordon's back on the bench means that he's going to be shitting himself and he's going to throw one in. And he didn't quite throw one in, but Clark's not in good form and his confidence is low. Gordon's coming back. Gordon's such a massive presence that the only way you can handle it, really, is for him to not play. If he's not going to be your goalie, don't have him on the bench, because all the fans are expecting him. If he's going to be in the bench, he's going to come back. All Hearts fans are saying, like, when Gordon comes back, it may be that he's shite. It may be that the injury and that length of time out at this stage, at his age, might mean that he just doesn't have it anymore. But if that's the case, he should not be on the bench. Just have McGovern on the bench.
It's like a spectre.
Yes, it is. He's looming over. Like, his presence is too big to be sitting on the bench, and I think it will affect Clark. And I think for the next game they have to put Gordon back in.
Ewan made this point really early on in the season when we were talking about we were doing about signings pods. And it was about Jojo Wallacott. And he said the exact same thing because of David Marshall. Yeah. He's like, it's not going to work. Because no matter what, even if that goalie starts, he'll know that if he makes any type of mistake, they'll be ready to put the other goalie back in because they're just such a presence. They've got such a big career. So, yeah, I mean, it can have a really negative effect. He got a few things right, though, Robson. I mean, he put Milne at wing back, didn't he? And then he had
Dickie Devlin in the back three. So Rubizic was dropped in midweek, wasn't he? And then
he dropped
stayed at the team. So having watched the defence, we'll get on to Hearts' attacking deficiencies very soon, but the defence looked a lot more steady because Rubizic is just a bomb scare.
Aye.
And he can dominate at times, but he just makes so many runs.
He's got a lot going for him.
Whereas Gartman and Jensen both have like clear, kind of cooler heads, and Devlin's been low key Aberdeen's best player this season.
I think he has. I think he's been I don't think they were intending it.
Probably Majowski, I would say.
But he's
maybe like runner up.
I don't think they were intending. I'm trying to get my head, because I was talking to Craig Anderson about this. I'm trying to get my head around. Is it a good thing that Devlin's like that, or is it actually an indictment to Aberdeen that Devlin suddenly become like one of their better players, but he's been really safe, and I quite like him in the back three as well because he's good in the air, so it works, and he can defend his back post, and he can run out with the ball, which gives him another, because he's used to bombing on down the right hand side. I know he's not a great attacking player, but it adds another element to their team that can actually break forward, because the back three, it was three huge guys. And not really, I'm not saying that they're bad on the ball, but Devlin could actually underlap, he can go forward, which it can actually add to their attacking arsenal when they have that.
Go back to Hearts. So, last week's show, I gave Stephen Naismith some praise and said, I wonder if he actually might be alright, because he has been doing things in matches and making retweets to games and to lineups, and I've seen what he's doing, and it makes sense why he's doing that. The problem is that this team can't attack at all. Like, it's so useless in terms of creating chances, and it's so fortunate that they've got Lauren Shanklin in the team, and there's a lot of talk about Rangers. Like that seems to be increasing, and
it makes sense.
I said earlier, Daniel Armstrong's too good for Killie. At this point in time, Lauren Shanklin is far too good for the rest of that fucking Hearts team. And without his goals, Hearts would be completely knackered, and there just seems to be no real... So, like, go back to the end of last season. So Hearts have lost Josh Tonelli, right? And that's a big blow. He was great at the end of last season, but you look at when Naismith came in and he said this stuff. I keep going back to this, but it's just so startling, and I can't get my head around the fact that he comes in and he's like, Hearts fans deserve a team that shouldn't be playing for 1-0 and should always be like attacking, and then he plays like that. Very aggressive attacking, ball always goes forward kind of football. And then this season is just completely different, and they can't go for what they were to what they are now just because Josh Tonelli left.
Yeah.
It can't be that. So he's got to carry the can on that. Why are you putting out a team that just can't create chances consistently for the expensive talent assembled?
It's Hearts look quite easy to play against. It's all like everyone's played in front of you when I've seen it recently, and obviously it's got a chronic lack of pace in the Hearts team, which is always going to be a problem. And why I was saying that they either have to play Oda or
Vargas or Tagawa.
Yeah, one of them up front, even though they're not a striker, just because they need for the team to function, it needs someone who can stretch it to create some space. And it's getting to the stage now where teams are quite happy let Hearts have the ball. And then when you go in the midfield, I like Benny Beningame. I think he's a really good player. But again, with Neuenhoff, bland. It's too bland. Yeah. There's no risk takers in the Hearts team, and it's boring to watch. There's loads of okay players.
It's a Hearts team with a back three, two sitting midfielders and two defenders at the wing back positions.
Right.
Like, there's only 3 attacking players in the team,
and that's hard. And you're always going to get the ball naturally because obviously you're bigger clubs, and obviously you've got much more expectation when you play, and it looks like teams can just like quite happily. Like that. And again, it's just like I'm not get too excited about Hibs form either, because the Hearts form, it was never convincing when they won the 4 games. It's not like you're not like, the performances are absolutely great, just grinding it out a bit. And there was one other thing about Naismith as well, the bringing Craig Halkett back in. So it does make kind of sense that you can see the thinking, right? Okay, you're defending, or it's one each, and a point away from Aberdeen wouldn't be the worst result in the world, even though Aberdeen aren't playing particularly well. But that's another thing as well. The Hearts didn't, after scoring the goal, try to step on Aberdeen's neck, because it was right for them to properly turn against their team, and Hearts just didn't take advantage of it. But anyway, it's one each, finally poised. A draw would be fine, especially with that second half performance. Halkett comes back in. Halkett is great, but he's been out for a year, and he looked like somebody that was out for a year. And also him and Rowles for the goal.
Yes.
Oh my, slow motion.
And Joe and I talked about this when we did the first part of the midweek Premiership review, where it was like, I've got concerns about these Hearts players coming back because I don't know where they fit, and I think they actually might upset the kind of balance of the team right now by the notion that they should be forced back in. And that's Craig Gordon's a kind of example of that, and Halkett as well, because Halkett and Frankie Kent are very similar. But the only way you get away with playing both of them together is you would have to have Halkett on the right of the feet, because Halkett is more willing to carry the ball out, and he's a better passer than Kent is. So Halkett comes on and he plays in the centre of the back three, the anchor of the back three for his first game away to Aberdeen in the year. Like, it makes no fucking sense. And if Frankie Kent is in the central position, Hearts don't concede that goal and they get a draw.
To go back to Aberdeen, that again, when I saw them against Hibs, I've seen them a few times. See, when they play aggressively, they're good.
Yeah, I quite liked a couple of subs in this game, bringing on Shaden Morris, who's not the best of players, but he's somebody that's quite direct, and Duke, it kind of upped their aggressiveness, and guys who could take the ball and just run it hard.
Because he wants to, like the way Robson plays, he wants to play in transitions. That's what he wants to do all the time, and that's, I think, the problem for Aberdeen is they aren't always really allowed to do it. Again, like I said, there's an expectation on the play, and teams just sit in them, and it's not a surprise that their best performances, even though they haven't won in Europe, they've had some really good performances in Europe. And obviously they've had big performances against Rangers this season. So like that's where they are. But now it's like they're seeing them that maybe there's a bit of evolution in it where Robson is kind of taking the handbrake off a bit. And you saw it against Hibs, and I really think it's the right thing to do, because I think with that midfield as well, McGrath, Clarkson, and Shinnie, it can be so aggressive. It's got a really nice blend. It's got everything that you would really want from a midfield altogether, and I think they could suffocate teams if they really wanted to. And then, as I said, you've got Devlin able to push forward. You've got a brilliant goal scorer. I think Aberdeen will come good. Then I'm going to say it. That's my. I think under Robson, I still think they'll come good.